Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Happy Valentine's Day. Today is February 14th, and we are celebrating Valentine's Day. And I thought it was so timely for us to take a moment to lean in and talk about love and talk about relationships and how can we bring love and connection into our relationships, business, personal, including the relationship with ourselves. How can we do those things so we can transform how we are in our relationships, that they feel good, that they are moving in the direction we would like them to move. So it's a great day to take a moment to stop, pause, breathe, and connect in. I'm so thrilled and honored to have each of you with us today, leaning into this important conversation. It is important that we are consciously, purposely looking at our relationships, including the relationship with ourselves. And is it where we want it to be? Are we being kind and loving and gracious? Those things that perhaps we value, are we showing them? Are they transformed into actions for ourselves and for others? And this isn't about criticism or judgment or any of those things. It's let's just stop and take a look and see. Now, my husband and I, Valentine's Day has been an important day for us. And it was where we had our third date. It was where we declared our love for each other. And so Valentine's Day has always been really meaningful. And we were so excited this year about celebrating Valentine's Day. We celebrated it. We started celebrating it yesterday instead of waiting till today. And we're going to continue through today. But one of the things that he prepared for me, because we do a lot of books and publishing and launching, he handed me a package last night. And he's grinning from ear to ear. And he says, "Here, I now have published a book for you." And I opened up the package, and it was this beautiful hardcover book that had page after page of our story, with a little message, what he first noticed about me, what he loved about me, some of the things that we enjoy doing. And he had spent all this time working with this company to put together these pages and to give it to me. And it was so special and meaningful to me. And it showed a connection in relationship, the thought that he put into that, the care and the love. And I felt so loved and so valued with his beautiful gift. And I think about that, and I'm thinking, how often are we doing that for ourselves, that we are really taking time to show ourselves that same kind of love and care and respect and joy and just appreciation for who we are? How often are we taking time to share that with others in our business relationships and our personal relationships? So today I really want you to be thinking about these things. So often we have these things in our hearts, but we're not always taking the time to share it, to express that care, that love, and appreciation. And what a profound, rich experience it is to have it shared with you and to be able to share that with ourselves. So I'm going to thank you for being with us today. We've got a beautiful and powerful guests that are going to pour into us. And I know there is something here for you by the very nature that you tuned in. There is something here that will be supportive of you. In order to get the most out of our time together today, though, it's important you focus in. You become fully present. Resist the urge to run off and check things off your to-do list. Really become present to receive everything that is here for you. because there's a reason you tuned in today. Those of you who are driving, please stay safe. Keep both hands on the wheels. No texting and driving, just inwardly tuning in, breathing, and every breath becoming more present. Those of you who are able to, put both feet on the floor, feel it supporting you. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing you in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Take a breath in through your nose. See how big you can make your belly. And then breathe out, like breathing out through a straw. Keep breathing in this way. This kind of breathing helps bring you present on a cellular level. It brings oxygen to every cell in your body, which helps us become more present, make great choices, because we have clarity in how we're thinking and receiving information. It also lowers our stress levels, our cortisol levels. So breath is so powerful. And that purposefulness of becoming present and ready to receive. Now we're going to go around our virtual room here and just touch in on a heart level with our amazing guest experts that have joined us today to see what's been laid on their heart so that they can connect in with you on a deep level. So with that, Judith, I'd love to start with you. What was laid on your heart when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen? Oh, Judith, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. I'd love for you to share what was laid on your heart.
Oh, I was saying that thank you for the opportunity. What I got immediately, it was like without being present, you cannot see, you cannot listen, you cannot receive. Then how important is to pause and just to be there for a moment, forget the world around you and just be there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I can feel that. All of us tuning in, and it is enough to be present and to be there, ready to receive. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then how about you, Jeanne? What was laid on your heart?
Well, you said the word powerful, and that immediately brought up power and the fact that each of us has a power to make changes and to be who we are. We often forget it, and it just seemed like it was time to remind myself and remind others that we each have a power to share our gifts.
Yes. Beautiful reminder. We have that power. We sometimes forget or give it away. So remembering that we have it. Beautiful. Thank you. And listeners, I'm going to take us back into just take this one more step. So let's all take a moment again as we've shared what's on our heart. I shared what was on my heart in the opening segment, and Jeanne and Judith have shared what was laid on their heart. So let's take a moment to sink back in, another deep breath. Eyes closed, putting a hand on your heart, on your head, bringing you all in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And in this space, in light of what we've shared and what's been laid on your heart, what is it that you need? What is it that you need today that will encourage you, uplift you, empower you? What will help you be able to lean in to more love in your life, to pouring that love and support into you, your heart and spirit, and others? What is it you need and are willing to receive? What is it that you need and are willing to receive? Just receive that information, because you have choice about what you will and are willing to receive. So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Once you have that information, take another breath. Come back. Beautiful, fully present, eyes open. Beautiful. Take a moment to write that down. I want you to keep top of mind what it is that you need and are willing to receive. And be unattached to how that will come into your life. In fact, be looking forward with anticipation and excitement as to how that need may come forth and be met. As we get ready to go to our first commercial break, I want to encourage you to use these 2 minutes to stay present, to really listen to what's being spoken into your heart and spirit, and capture it on paper. Get it out of you so you can see it and be looking for it and listening for it and ready to receive everything that is going to support you today. That you're actively have your hands open, palms up, ready to receive. Take these 2 minutes to be present, honor what's being poured into your heart and spirit. And when we come back, we're going to dig into a conversation with our amazing experts to support us on our journey. We'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Get Unchained. Tune in every Monday for Jane Unchained on the Voice America Influencers channel, featuring nationally recognized best-selling author, TV journalist, and social media influencer Jane Velez Mitchell. This program takes you inside a trending lifestyle that's the next wave of human evolution. It all starts on your plate. If you want to revolutionize your life, get happier, more energized, then discover the secret. Tune in to Jane Unchained Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers channel.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective, plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at blog.voiceamerica.com. That's blog.voiceamerica.com. The Voice America Press Blog. All access, all the time. We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that it gave you an opportunity to stop, pause, breathe, and listen to what is being placed on your heart, soul, and spirit. We get so busy sometimes we forget to stop, pause, and listen. So I encourage you to do that. We're going to have times throughout the show today for you to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate. That's something else that can help you move further, faster. Is that slowing down, actually. Because when we take a moment to stop, pause, you're actually giving yourself an opportunity to integrate things on a cellular level, to really feel them, hear them, honor them, and integrate them. And then what happens by doing that is at the end of the show, then you're going to be able to actually have these things be part of you as you go back out in the world, instead of it being on your to-do list to someday hopefully get to. So I encourage you to use these rich moments, build those muscles of stop, pausing, listening, and integrating. Now, I promised before we went to our first break here that we would come back and have a deeper conversation with our amazing experts, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I wanted to more formally introduce Judith to you so you know a little bit more about her, and then we're going to dig into this conversation about unconditional love. So Judith Costa is an unconditional love coach, a retreat leader, a writer, and a speaker. She has a master's degree in psychology and psychotherapy and is absolutely passionate about you having unconditional love in your life for yourself and others. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Judith Costa to the show. Welcome!
Well, thank you, Rebecca, for such an amazing introduction.
You are welcome. Happy to have you here. I hope you hear my hands. I don't know if you can hear them, but my hands were raised as I was welcoming you to the show.
Yes. I can feel it.
Beautiful. I'm glad. And I'd love for you to share, where you're calling in from, where you're connecting in from. To start, I'd love for people to know.
I'm in Miami.
Miami.
I'm Spanish from Barcelona, and I moved to the U.S. 8 years ago, and I'm so happy to be here. I moved from New York to warm and sunny Miami.
Ah, beautiful. We have stormy weather here in California, but I like how we're across the country, so this is great. Beautiful. Now, I'd love for you to share why this work around unconditional love is personally so important to you.
It is because I didn't know anything about how to love myself. There was a moment in my life where I felt my life was not working. Nothing was really thriving, and I was really unhappy. There is such an important connection between happiness and love, self-love, and we all have to learn this. And sometimes a lot of clients that I have, they complain, no, I wasn't loved when I was a kid. My parents didn't love me, or I came from a dysfunctional family. Then we are here just to know how to love and how to be loved. And self-love is the key for everything that you want in your life. It's the solution for every problem that you may have.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that you came from a place where you didn't have that in your life, and it was a struggle and hard, and then discovered how to bring that into your life, and now you're helping others so beautifully. And I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here, because I think we throw around this term, and I do mean that, throw it around casually, self-love. Yes, we need to have self-love. We need to love ourselves. But I don't know that we know what that really means, looks like, and feels like. Would you mind sharing what is self-love to you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? So we're all on the same page as we look at this subject.
Yeah, self-love is a big concept. Usually it's confused with self-esteem or self-care, but it's bigger than that. It's an idea that includes self-expression, stand up by yourself, learning how to set up boundaries, forgiving yourself when things are not working the way you want, or you make a mistake, or you hurt anyone, being there for you. At the end, it's having a relationship with yourself that really demonstrate by your choices that you really have this love for yourself that you want to accomplish. It's treating you the same way you treat those you love. Sometimes we do just the opposite.
Yes.
We empower our friends and our family members, and we are there for them. And then when it's about us, we judge ourselves, criticize ourselves, blame ourselves, put ourselves down. Then it's just establishing a relationship where we are there for us no matter what, unconditionally.
Yes.
It's not that we are perfect. It's that we love ourselves in a way that we can support ourselves in whatever situation, good or bad, that is going around our lives.
Thank you. Beautiful definition, and some great things for us to check in on. Are we being critical and harsh and judgmental and mean to ourselves, beating ourselves up, or are we treating ourselves lovingly as we treat others? So really, I think not only a beautiful definition, but a great thing to check in on and see so that we are aware. That's
a wonderful exercise to do. I mean, if for a week you take a notebook and just do what you suggested. Write everything you are telling to yourself. What is the inner voice that you have, and what is telling to you? It's usually saying you're amazing, you're great, it's going to happen, don't worry, everything is going to be all right. Or it's just saying something different. Then when you have the information, when you are aware of how you treat yourself, you can take steps to change the relationship if necessary. There are people that by nature they are loving to themselves, but there are others that not so much.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. What a great tip. So I hope everyone heard that and you're taking notes, that you're going to an activity that can really help you be aware of that inner dialogue and how you're treating yourself. Yeah. Now, I'd love for you to share, so I appreciate you sharing that, and I'd love for you to share, why is it important, to have this love, to love ourselves first, especially in relationships, because that's something we're talking about today. So why is it important to love ourselves first to have happy relationships?
Well, the beginning of my career, and the reason why I started doing all this work, was because I found the concept of soulmates in my life, and I started doing research about it. And I discovered that soulmates have one characteristic, that is, they have a bond of unconditional love between them. And I started saying, what does it mean exactly? I mean, how is this relationship different? And for a long time, my work was focused on helping people to find their soulmate, the right relationship for them. And I discovered that the most important block that we have in order to find love is that we don't love ourselves enough. Then is when I transitioned from a soulmate expert to an unconditional love coach, because what I realized is that you cannot share what you don't have.
Yes.
And that it's very important to becoming more loving. If you want really to have love in your life, be more loving. Love is just an energy. And when you are in the world of love, you have love around, you feel it, you share it, you express it, you become this love, and then you become a magnet of love. Then for all these people there that they want to find a special one to share their life with, I just really recommend that they believe in love, that they believe that love can find them and start being more loving now.
And for those that are really wanting that and are struggling, maybe they already know when you shared, keep a notebook and write down what you're saying to yourself over a 4-week period. When they just stopped and thought about that exercise, they could hear that voice coming in, and it's not necessarily positive what it starts to say to them. What is something they can do to, once, if they become aware that there is some negative talk going on there about themselves and to themselves that isn't loving, what's something they can do to start to shift that?
Making a commitment. Self-love is a daily decision that you make every day. Maybe it doesn't come naturally at the beginning, but it's when you put the foot on the floor, when you get up, when you open your eyes, tell yourself, this is going to be a wonderful day where I'm going to love myself no matter what. Then don't get caught on all the environment and what is going on, that someone push your button and then you get angry or upset or something happens. Just take the love with you, and, for example, practice daily acts of love. Like from the moment you go out of your apartment and start smiling more, hugging more. You don't have to tell everybody you meet, I love you, but energetically you can send this message. And don't give your peace and your love to any situation. Don't lose it during the day. Just become in this vibration. Love is the highest power that you have. It's the power that allows you to manifest anything. Then what can you do really is to start looking at yourself with different eyes, with the eyes of love, knowing that everything is okay, that you don't need to be fixed, that you are not broken, that nothing is wrong with you. Appreciate more who you are and share it with others.
Great. Thank you. And you gave some really great tips of things that we can start to do. So really purposely, consciously choosing each day to be in that vibration, to not give it away lightly or let some situation shift how you choose to be in it. I love how you're saying it can be as simple as choosing to smile and purposely sending that love energy out, extending it to others, including yourself. And I think that's really, really important. Any final thoughts or tips? We're running close on time here, but I wanted to see if there's any final share that you wanted to bring to our listeners today.
Yeah, I wanted to remind people that love, when you share your love comes back multiplied to you. And it's important to understand that love is a concept that needs to be shared. Love goes out of you and comes back to you. And why it's important is in terms of self-love. Because the more you love yourself, the more you can love others. The more your heart expands. And sometimes we give love and give until we are empty. And then what we are doing is self-sacrificing for others. And this is not true love. We have to understand that it's important to recharge our batteries of love and do things for ourselves that make us feel loved and lovable and happy, because then we have more to give. We were talking today about relationships, and the important here is to understand that our relationship is when two mature individuals share the love that they already have within themselves.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. And what struck me about some of that powerful share is that really, if we are giving and not pouring back into ourselves, that's self-sacrifice, and we're not able to bring that in. We're kind of depleting ourselves. But when we're able to pour into ourselves and send us love and enrich ourselves in that way, we have an endless supply that we can share and bring to others and bring to relationships and connections that we have. But it really starts with being able to give that to ourselves, because like you shared, Judith, we cannot give what we do not have. And so making sure that we have that. That's a tweetable quote, by the way, everybody. We need to pour that into ourselves. And as we get ready to go to our next commercial break here, I encourage you to take a moment, take these 2 minutes to stop, pause, listen, and integrate what's being poured into your heart and poured into your life. Please take a couple moments in this time to share something loving about yourself to yourself. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Think you've seen everything there is to see in online television? Let us surprise you. Visit voiceamerica.tv today for sports, health, business, and more on demand 24/7.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Sustainable success is just around the corner. If you are an entrepreneur, business leader, or anybody looking for their next level of success, tune into Sustainable Success with host Chris Salem. Did you know that the path to success is a long path that started many years ago? The path you started on then determines what is happening now. Chris and his amazing guests in their field will help you navigate the path to sustainable success every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Change starts here. Change starts now. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and gave yourself an opportunity to send some love to yourself, appreciate some things about you, and really honored that energy and that space and gave yourself the opportunity to integrate. We were chatting a little bit behind the scenes, and I was sharing a little bit more about the book that my husband put together. And so we were having some fun talking about that. And one of the things that struck me was about communication, and that's what we're going to be talking next here, and the communication in the words that he chose to use and the pictures that he used in the book. He got to design the characters that represented him and I, and that showed certain emotions or certain things that we have done through the years together. And it was really neat to see through his eyes the way he saw things and how he communicated that to me. And I found that really, really rich. And I think as we're talking about communication and we're talking about relationships and how we can transform and up-level them, communication is key. And so we have a communication expert here to support us. And how are we sharing messages out? And are they communicating things that we're wanting to share? Are they telling the story that we're intending to share out in the world? So let me introduce our expert. Jeanne Alford has directed national and international public affairs and public relations programs for several brands that I know you'll recognize: Dolby, Philips Electronics, and Visa. And today, she now helps small businesses and individuals and entrepreneurs to tell their most compelling stories in media. So please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Jeanne Alford to the show. Welcome!
Hi, Rebecca. How are you today? Thank you for letting me be here.
I am great. Glad to have you here. Happy Valentine's Day. And just thrilled to dig into this conversation, because we can have all these amazing things that we want to share in the world. But if they're not hearing us, if we're not able to say it or share it out in a way that's heard, our message gets stopped and our connection gets stopped. And so I would love for you to share why this work that you do at helping people in this way, telling those most compelling stories, why is that so important to you?
Well, it starts with having something to say. We each have something to say, whether it's a business or a consultant or an entrepreneur. We have a gift. But you said it earlier when you said it's the words you choose to use. Oftentimes we speak in a kind of a shorthand, assuming everybody knows what we're trying to say, but they're not in our head. They don't hear the same things we hear. I found it interesting listening to Judith when she talked about those voices and those things we say to ourselves. We often say things and assume people know what we're trying to get across, and that doesn't happen. And there's skills that you can build to help get that across. And one is just asking the very first most important question: what do I want to say?
Mm.
And I'm amazed at how many people don't ask themselves that before they start to talk.
And then they're kind of hoping it'll come out. They don't have a plan. But you're right. So often we just start and we're not being clear because we're not clear in what we're trying to say.
Right. It goes back to the age-old discussion of the fight, flight, or freeze syndrome that happens when we're stressed. And that's why one of the first things I do when I talk to people is I say, take a deep breath. Like you did at the beginning of the show. When you take that deep breath, that allows you to tap into what I call the magic moment. That moment between the stimulus, whatever's causing you to want to talk, to the response, how you respond to that stimulus. You get to choose how to respond. Do you respond emotionally, chaotically? Do you respond thoughtfully and deliberately and move the conversation forward? It's that tiny nanosecond of time that you get to choose the word that you want to use that moves you forward.
Beautiful.
But for many of us, we stay in that fight or flight.
And I'm curious, this magic moment, because I think so often we feel like we can't have empty air time in our conversations on stage. It can feel awkward or weird. And so we just keep talking, trying to fill the space so that there's no gap. And yet when we're willing to pause, I think not only does it give us this breath and this choosing opportunity, I think it also gives the opportunity for the listeners or the viewers to stop, hear, connect, process, and be ready for more. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a very important example because for example, when you're on stage and you take that deep breath, it feels like it's forever, when in reality, it's a blip in time and the audience doesn't even notice because you're breathing. We all breathe. One of the things that I've noted over the years is that oftentimes people are not even hearing what you say because you're talking too fast and they can't keep up with it. And then they immediately go into a kind of response where they're thinking, what can I say next? How do I fill this void? So then they start it and then the pattern keeps going and you have a conversation that ends up totally off on a tangent and not exactly where it is that you wanted it to be. So taking that breath helps you and the listener.
Now, I know we can feel like I see this in the coaching world sometimes, that we just kind of keep doing actions and activities, hoping something goes to where we want. We think movement equals progress. And it's not always the case. Whereas we may be going in the wrong direction. We might actually be going backwards, completely off course. Kind of like when we don't check the map and maybe we had it upside down and we're headed north instead of south, that can happen. And it sounds like that's kind of happening in this communication, that by not pausing, by not giving time for the listener to process, the speaker to process as well, communication isn't happening, even though noise and words are happening. If you notice that's happening, things are getting a little off track, how can you help bring it back to a point where real communication and connection is happening?
Well, it's important to have a distinction of talking versus communicating. Talking is filling the air and giving a lot of information. But communicating is exchanging information, allowing the person you're talking to respond to what you've said. And when things start to go off into the tangent, one person has to be brave enough to take a deep breath and say, wait a minute, let's get back on task, and bring the conversation back to that kind of strategic point where you had planned that you wanted to go. And that's not always easy. If you're talking to your boss or to your parent or to somebody you really admire, it's difficult to say, wait. But it's important to do that, to take a deep breath and say, hold it. Let's get back on the subject because this is important.
What are some phrases that people could use to do that?
I often hear people say things like, let's take a second here and look at where we're going, or let's get back on task if it's more in a business situation. Typically, it's just, this is interesting, but what I need to get is. And that really makes you get clear on what it is you need to get out of the conversation. It's a bridge to go from over here on the tangent back to where I needed to go. And you said it earlier, having a plan for your conversation is important. Knowing what it is you need to talk about, knowing why it's important to your audience, to the person you're talking to, looking at it from their perspective so that you can give them the right information, and actually knowing what you want to get out of that conversation. And sometimes what you want to get out of it is just a few minutes of relaxed time conversing with a friend. Sometimes it's, we need to make decisions to move this project forward. There's lots of different things that you want to get out of a conversation, but knowing what that is helps you get there. Like you said, it's like being on the map and actually following the directions.
and head in the direction you're trying to go.
In the time of, yes, and if you practice this, I believe you can do it in the time of that deep breath. Kind of quickly, your brain works really fast. It's a supercomputer in there. So you take a deep breath and you say, oh, this is what I need to say. This is why it's important, and here's where I want to go.
Yes.
And that puts your conversation back on track. And it takes practice.
Thank you. And I think that's important too, that it takes practice and being willing to give ourselves opportunities to practice that skill, to practice the breathing, to stop for a moment and think and receive and then move forward can help us with that. I know sometimes what I'll say is, can you give me just a moment? Let me think here just for a minute, because I want to make sure I'm fully understanding what you're sharing with me. So this is what I'm hearing. I'll do that sometimes for clarification, or and then I can segue to where I want to go. I can say, but what I'm not understanding is this. And that gives them some direction of where a disconnect happened, or perhaps we got off on a tangent and that piece was missed.
Those are very good, I call them bridging phrases. They're phrases that can take you from one place to another and get you back on track. One point I'd like to make is that most of us, and you've probably talked about this with a lot of the experts, most of us breathe shallowly, and we're typically in a stressed sense when we're breathing shallowly. But we learn to breathe over time when we were children, and it takes a moment to get back into that deep breathing. It's the same with communicating and conversing. We learned as children how to speak, how to talk, how to have a simple conversation, but we rarely take the time to practice to put meaningful conversation in as a muscle memory kind of skill. And that's why I say it takes practice. You could be 5 or you could be 55. You still need to practice.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you joining us today. And listeners, we're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, I want to invite you to take these 2 minutes to stop, pause, practice that deep breathing so that you can integrate some of what's being spoken to your heart and spirit, and perhaps a new awareness of paying attention to communication versus talking. Is communication really happening, that back and forth of information? Some ways that you can perhaps stop, pause, and move a conversation or a connection from where it is to where you're wanting it to be, or where you're hoping it can be, or where you're needing more connection, that you can do that in graceful and positive ways, which I believe you shared really beautifully, Jeanne shared with us. So as we go to this next commercial break, use these 2 minutes to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate what's being spoken into your heart and spirit. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN. Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
There's a new force to be reckoned with in talk radio. It's not just talk radio. Hosted by LaTanya Jr. and co-hosts Tina Wynn and Tony Brown. Not Just Talk Radio is like a superhero, inspiring, problem-solving, and informing. Packed with action-provoking conversations from news, movements, and social and politics issues. This program is about a wide range of voices and fresh points of view from experts, celebrities, and you, the listener. Not Just Talk Radio is broadcast live Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Become a member of VoiceAmerica.com. It's easy, and best of all, it's free. Start out by going to our homepage or any of our channels and click Register at the top. Once you've created an account and signed in, you can create your own custom library, opt into our newsletter, search by show, host, guest, or topic of interest, or browse millions of hours of content across all of our Voice America radio channels. Membership gets you more. Visit VoiceAmerica.com today to get started and tailor the listening experience to your taste.
We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. I had to run over and grab my book that Andrew, my husband, gave to me. And as I was just flipping through some of the pages and remembering my first time through the book and kind of how it felt, I thought, wow, these are such amazing things that he's sharing with me. But wow, we could also say these beautiful things to ourselves. And some of the things that struck me in the book, and I wanted you to hear this, especially on Valentine's Day, some of the things and the moments that were so special to him that he was reflecting back to me wasn't necessarily the thing that we did. It's that we did it together. It was spending time together, really connecting, that mattered deeply to him, that valued, that we balanced each other even though we're very different, that he really valued and appreciated those things. And I thought, wow, we are with ourselves every single day, but sometimes we get so distracted, we forget to really be present with ourselves, to appreciate the gift of being in our body, in our spirit, of being and celebrating who we are and how we're made, and then appreciating that in another, I think is a beautiful place to start those connections, to celebrate them. And one of the things that I loved, one of the phrases in the book says, I love how you make all the pieces of my heart smile. Wouldn't it be beautiful if we could do that? If we could be willing to make all the pieces of our heart smile, appreciate all these things about ourselves, and reflect what we also see and appreciate others. What a beautiful place to start that connection, to transform those relationships, to be willing to share the gift of who we are with ourselves first, and then with another. And then as you're sharing it with that other, reflect what you love about them, what you see in them, what you appreciate about them. You can do this in your personal relationships and in your business relationships. You can appreciate that people say and do. They do what they said they would do, that they're on time, that they care about what they're bringing forward. That helps transform a relationship. That helps bring it to another level. So I really want to encourage us today, especially on Valentine's Day, as we are getting ready to go back out into the world, that we're remembering to bring ourselves to, remembering to love ourselves, to be mindful and purposeful in our relationships and our connections. I asked each of our experts if they could just share, 10, 15 seconds, something they want to remind you of as you get ready to go back out into the world. So with that, Jeanne, I'd love for you to share what was on your heart.
What I really want to share is to encourage people to work at reaching that magic moment that I talked about, taking that deep breath, because that allows you to choose how you're going to respond to information coming at you, and helps you to choose to have a better, stronger, more peaceful life. And Beautiful. I really strongly believe in that.
So look for those magic moments and carve them out and take them. Beautiful. Thank you. And how about you, Judith? What's on your heart to share with our listeners?
I will tell everyone that invest time in connecting with yourself, in appreciating who you are, in knowing your value. Nobody can know your value if you don't know it. And know that love always goes with you, that you cannot lose it because it's what you are made of. And it will never abandon you. If you have questions or doubts in your life, ask yourself what love will do in this situation and allow yourself to be guided by this wonderful, powerful force.
Beautiful. Thank you. And we, listeners, are sending our love with you too. So we hope you feel that love, that support, that deep care, because each of you are beautifully and wonderfully made on purpose and for a purpose. And I believe, in fact, for such a time as now. And one of the greatest gifts that you can bring to the world is you. So that I hope today has supported you, encouraged you, inspired you to bring more love and support to you and appreciation, as well as wanting to share that with others. So that wherever you go, whatever you do, we hope that you choose to do it with love, deep connection, and support, and that you are willing to share the amazing gift of who you are with another, because what the world needs is more of you. Be willing to share the amazing gift of you, that wherever you go, whatever you do, be willing to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Influencers channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.